If you are not investing in Abuja, you are missing out. Imagine if someone offered you land in Lekki in 2003. Would you have taken advantage of those prices? With the infrastructural projects coming within that area, you are definitely sure that this area will eventually become a city. So you are looking into the future before every other person can see the future. Hello, smart investors. Welcome to yet again another deep dive into understanding the world of real estate. Part of what I do is to teach people why they should invest in a certain location and things to look out for before they make their first, property purchase, because there is a lot of noise out there in real estate. And, one thing about investment is that every investment comes with a level of risk. So if we're just teaching you or we're just telling you to buy this property and we're not properly educating you on the risk to look out for and the necessary infrastructural pointers to look out for before you make that next property, purchase, the only people that are going to be benefiting from your purchase are, of course, the salespeople and the real estate companies. Okay, so but what I am doing for you guys is to help you see, real estate not just as a property but as a vehicle for long-term wealth growth. And there are certain things to look out for, and I'm going to be explaining all of those things in this video. So in today's lecture, I'm going to be talking about, how smart investors build wealth through land banking. How smart investors build long-lasting wealth through land banking. And part of what we're going to be covering is how strategic land ownership creates generational wealth. So wealth that is going to outlive you and your children and your children's children. Of course, what are the things you need to see before you know that this is the land to buy? I'll be doing that for you today. Okay? This lecture is brought to you by Priye Uzenabo, my humble self. I'm a real estate investment consultant and developer, and I help clients make smart investment decisions in the sector of real estate. I'm based in Abuja. I'm more interested in getting Nigerians living in Nigeria and Nigerians living in Diaspora to invest back home, precisely in Abuja. Because when I look at the growth metrics in Abuja and the prospects that this city holds, if you are not investing in Abuja, you are missing out. So let's dive in. Whether you are joining us from Toronto, London, Port Harcourt, Houston, Atlanta, Johannesburg, or any part of the world, one thing brings all of us together, and that is we all have the desire to build the kind of wealth that will last us and even outlive us. Isn't it interesting to note that every successful investor eventually asks one question? And what is that question? Where should I put my money today so that it grows significantly tomorrow? And today, I want to introduce to you one of the oldest, safest, and most powerful wealth building strategies in history, and that is land banking. Let me ask you this one question. Imagine if someone offered you land in Lekki in 2003, or Ibejuleki in 2010, or Guzabe in Abuja probably 20 years ago. Would you have taken advantage of those prices back then? Would you have bought those lands at those prices? People always ask me, is it not too late for me to go into real estate? I feel I've missed out, or the prices are too expensive. I need a cheaper land somewhere. My response to them is always the same. Every generation has always complained that the price of land in their time was expensive. Only for 20 years later or 10 years later, they start regretting that they did not buy when they should have bought. So this is a clear example of what a real estate project looks like undeveloped. The picture by my right is a land that has not been developed. This can be Lekki in 2003. This could be Ibejuleki in 2010. This could even be Guzape 20 years ago. This was how it looked like. And then from here, it now transitioned to this. People will start, getting small plots, start building, start relocating into that area. Before you know it, a town has been born. When the land is looking like this, that is when government now starts citing projects, because one of the things that drives the value of real estate is population. So once you have population in a certain area and development comes into that area, the only effect that it has on the real estate in that area is appreciation. All right. So would you have bought any of these properties by the time it was listed in 2003, in 2010, or even the year 2000? Would you have bought it? While some people are saying, yes, I would have bought it, other people might be saying, no, they wouldn't have bought it. Let me know in the comment section. But do you know the painful truth? Most people actually ignored these opportunities. They didn't buy. And then today, those same lands have appreciated by hundreds, and in many cases, thousands of percent. The people who bought early were not just lucky. They simply understood one principle. They bought where the future was going. They bought where development was projected to happen. They saw the future from today. Isn't it interesting to see that a land went from looking like this to looking like this, and then from here it now looks like this? Most people would not have bought when the land was like this, but some people would have bought it because they can see this future. And even when the land is still like this, it is not extremely too late for you to plug in. Those people who bought land when it was like this definitely got it at a cheaper price compared to when the land became something like this. Definitely, with the presence of population here, the land here is definitely more expensive than it was before. But you cannot compare the value of this land and this land. You cannot compare them to what the value of this land currently holds. Now, this is now a mega city. This is what a mega city looks like. And the people who are going to benefit from the dividends of this mega city are the people who bought when the price of the land was somewhere here, or people who bought when the land was even somewhere here. But if you want to be buying land when it is here, you're already buying at the end of the value chain, because already this land has already significantly appreciated. While it is still not a wrong move to buy land at this location, you are going to be paying a ridiculously expensive price. And guess who you are going to be paying that money to? You are going to be paying that money to the people who bought this same property when it was at this phase or when it was at this phase. I believe you understand me perfectly well. So the big question is, what then is land banking? And I'm going to explain that to you really quickly. Land banking simply means buying strategically located land today and holding it while development catches up. I'll take that one more time. Land banking simply means buying strategically located land today and holding it while development catches up. The fun fact about land banking is this: you are not buying because the area is already developed, because in most cases the areas are not developed. Rather, you are buying because you know it will eventually be. This area is not yet developed, but with the growth metrics that are surrounding that areas, with the infrastructural projects coming within that area, you are definitely sure that this area will eventually become a city. So you are looking into the future before every other person can see the future. So think of land banking as buying tomorrow's prime location at today's price. And if you stick to the end of this video, I can assure you one thing: I have some property listings in my portfolio that falls into this category. They are tomorrow's prime location at today's price. So somebody will be saying, oh, Mr. Priye, this your land banking lecture is very nice. Oh. I have a lot of investments. Among all the investments, why should I go for land? Before I explain that, let me now ask you this one question. If there is one thing nobody can manufacture anymore, what would that be? It's definitely not oil, because companies are drilling oil every single day. It's definitely not gold as well. You can mine gold now. It's definitely not cryptocurrency. It's definitely not cash as well. It's land. Land is the only thing that is no longer expanding. And nobody says it much clearer than the famous real estate billionaire, Mark Twain. He famously said, buy land, they are not making it anymore. Thus encouraging people to, rather than put their money in a savings account or a high yield account, put that money in a tangible asset, land, because they are not making it anymore. And land is a continuously appreciating asset. So let's ask the question again, why land? The beauty of having land are as follows. Land is finite, meaning it is already measured. The amount of land Abuja has will not double because we changed months or we changed years. The amount of land in Abuja has already been allocated to Abuja. 20 years to come, Abuja is not going to get any bigger or any smaller. So the amount of land in Abuja is already defined. Number two, population continues to grow. So if population is continuing to grow, cities will continue to expand. And that also has a ripple effect on the infrastructure. Because when cities begin to expand, there needs to be infrastructure to service those cities. So infrastructure always goes to where there is population. So as infrastructure continues to spread, the demand for housing will continue to increase. Now, let me put it this way. Every single year, young professionals are leaving their various city and they are relocating to, let's say, a city like Abuja, for example, because I'm resident in Abuja. People are moving in because of the development happening in Abuja. Of course, Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. So you can imagine the level of infrastructural development that is coming into Abuja. A lot of businesses have their headquarters in Abuja. So as young professionals are coming in, they are getting married, they are having kids, they will definitely need a place to stay. That's where you now come in to provide a level of housing arrangement for people who are migrating into the city to take advantage of. And you are not doing it for free. You get your property, you develop your property, and you set your own prices. And the rent in Abuja is not slowing down anytime soon. It's going really, really up. It's going crazy. A self-contained is going as high as 1.5 million in Abuja. And if we're talking about a normal one-bedroom apartment, we're looking at from 2 million, 2.5 million, depending on the location you are looking at, of course, but you cannot get it less than anything 2 million for a solid one-bedroom apartment. For a standard one-bedroom apartment that you will like, you can never get it anything less than 2 million. Yeah. So the prospects are there. So even if you are in Diaspora, you can actually start your real estate project and be collecting rent every single year. Land is definitely an asset that the demands keep increasing. So simple economics, when there's limited supply and there's growing demand for a particular thing, the price of that thing will continue to rise because it is now more valuable. We have so many hands trying to grab a few houses. So the highest bidder always wins. The price of these assets will always continually go up. Now, here is why smart investors always love land banking. The simple truth is, smart investors understand something the average person doesn't. They don't wait until everyone is talking about an area. What they do is that they always enter before the crowd. They see an opportunity before everyone else sees it at a ridiculously cheap price. That is what smart investors do. They see an opportunity and they take advantage of it. They buy before the major roads are done. They buy before the airports are sited. They buy before the universities are built, before the shopping malls spring up, before the industrial parks are built, before real estate investors come in and start developing their plots. Smart investors have already bought. And in most cases, these smart investors are buying land from people who bought from the communities that owns this land. So you can position yourself to buy before the crowd comes in. Look at this picture to my left. You can see right here. This is a mega city. This is a green space. This land has not been developed right here. So you can see smart investors, they are coming up with different plans that they can use to develop this city. Some of them are looking at, okay, let me just buy and hold. Some of them are buying and they are developing immediately. Ultimately, in a few years' time, this particular place that looks like a barren land is going to become a replica or close to the mega city that they are coming from. So, before all the major roads, airport, university, shopping malls, industrial park, and housing estates spring forth, the question is, would you buy? That is the next question. Because whether you like it or not, once this project arrive, the prices always goes up. Now, let us understand the concept of wealth creation. We've talked about land banking. Now, let's talk about wealth creation. Isn't it interesting to note that some people just work all their lives for money? They got into the civil service or they traveled abroad to look for greener pastures. They are working, they are paying their bills. They cannot afford not to save up for rent. They work all their lives. They've been working for 20 years, but they don't have a single property to their name. You've been working for 15 years. Imagine working for 15 years, working for 20 years, paying rent for 20 years. Do you know how rich you have made your landlord or your landlady? Do you know how much your landlady has benefited from you for a house that they built so many years ago? Most of the houses our brothers in Diaspora are living in today are old houses, but they are very, very diligent in when it comes to rent. They pay their rent on time. See how diligent you are to pay your rent on time. Even our brothers living in Nigeria, right here. See how diligent you are to pay your rent. But when it comes to putting out a particular amount of money every single month to be able to save up and secure your first property, you always postpone that notch. This year, you, my friends, must own a property. If you believe you own a property, type it in the comment section. I will own my property this year. I will own my property this year. Put it in the comment section. So, most people just work all their lives for money. But on the other hand, smart investors allow their assets to work for them. Among these assets include land, because land is an appreciating asset. Between a land and a house, do you know that a house is more or less like a depreciating asset? Because new designs are coming up every day. Yes, new concepts are coming up every day, but your land is just appreciating in value every single day. When you are calculating the valuation of a particular piece of real estate, they calculate it from the land first, because it is the land that holds so much value compared to the building on the land. So while you have all of your assets working for you, and you also have land as part of your asset, what it means is that whether you are sleeping or you are working or you are abroad, your land is quietly increasing in value. And that is what I call true wealth creation. Now, why should you invest in Nigeria? This is the Nigeria opportunity that is staring at everybody right now, but not so many people can see it. Listen, Nigeria is one of Africa's fastest growing countries. The population in Nigeria is made up of young people. Nigeria is the only country in Africa that has in fact, the economy is run by youths. We have a lot of young people in Nigeria. What that means is that every single year, millions of young people will need housing. Businesses will need commercial space. Government will continue to expand into new cities. You can see that in Abuja already. There have been a lot of roads that have been done by this administration to connect to the satellite towns. So, government is expanding in projects. We have a lot of private developers that are building every single day in this city. And urban migration is on the increase. People are moving from the villages, from the satellite towns to the city. People are also leaving other states and they are coming to Abuja. So all of this put together means the demand for land is continue going to what? Keep skyrocketing. One of the reasons why I love to sell Abuja is because Abuja has the development that is needed for every professional to thrive. So if the demand for land is not slowing down, what it means is that it is accelerating. If all of these are true, why does this matter to Nigerians abroad? For our diaspora investors, one question always comes up repeatedly, and that is, how do I continue building wealth while living overseas? The answer is land banking. Instead of allowing your savings account to lose purchasing power in the bank, you can own an appreciating asset in one of Africa's fastest growing real estate markets, and that is Abuja. You don't have to relocate back home. You just simply need to invest intelligently. That's all. Speaking of investing intelligently, here are common mistakes investors make. Why many investors grow cold feet to buy their property? They often say stuff like, oh, I'm going to buy it when the area develops. Unfortunately, when development comes, the prices are no longer the same because development comes with a price. On the other hand, smart investors understand this simple logic. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. So that brings me to my next line of thought. What makes good land banking? Can I be very honest with you? Not every land is a good investment. I'll be very, very honest with you on this one. Smart investors evaluate certain things before they buy a property. And that is, number one, government development plans for that area. Is it part of government development plans in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Because once it has been gazetted into the plan of government, it's just a matter of time. This administration will come and go. One administration will come back and say, you know what, let's fix this project, let's do this project. And guess what? You've already bought early enough. So is that area part of government development plans? Number two, are there road network leading to that area? At least major road networks, because the internal roads most likely will be done by the developers. Number three, you must also evaluate the population within that area, population growth in that area. Number four, infrastructural projects. Are there infrastructural projects coming into that area? And then what is the proximity of this location to major districts? How fast is Lugbe to CBD? How long is it going to take me from Life Camp to CBD? Because Central Business District in Abuja is a major area in Abuja. It's where almost all the government parastatals are located. All right. So my property, how many minutes drive is it away from the major district? That's the next question. Then, are there going to be future commercial activities within this area? What are the signs to show that this place is going to boom very soon? And then, legal documentation. I want to be very clear on this legal documentation. In Abuja, one of the strongest legal documentation for your land is CFO, which is Certificate of Occupancy, or Arrow of O. Okay? So I know a lot of people who own their land will say, I have this document from the court. I have that document from the court. I have the listen. Always ask them, does this land have a C of O or does it have an Arrow of O? Always ask this question. Oh, this court paper. Oh, that court injunction. Oh, this, all those things does not matter. You know how our court system is here in Nigeria. You don't want to buy land and then be going to court back and forth. You want to buy land and then just start developing immediately. If you want to build, you want to build. If you want to sell it off again after a few years, you want to sell it off. But make sure the right documentation is available for the land you want to buy. Because at the end of the day, the location of your land determines the value. Timing determines profits. Here's why land banking is what I call a high yield investment. Unlike rental properties, land does not call you because the roof is leaking, or because the plumbing is damaged, or because tenants haven't paid rent, or because electrical systems failed. Land simply just sits and keep on appreciating. Sometimes the best investment is the one that doesn't require constant attention. Which brings me to my next section, which is risk. Before you buy that next property, always ensure that your intended property has the following. It has proper title verification. It has government approved layouts where applicable. It has gone through professional due diligence. It has a survey plan. It has a registered deed or other valued ownership documents. And most of all, it has a reputable developer or seller. Because at the end of the day, smart investing begins with proper verification. Here is why so many diaspora investors lose money, unfortunately. Many Nigerians abroad have experienced fraud in one way or the other. Not because real estate is bad, but because they invested without verification. Listen, guys, the solution is simple. Work with professionals. I'm a professional. You can work with me. Ask questions. My phone number is available. You can chat me up. You can call me. Ask questions. Verify documents. Okay? Very importantly. And never rush. Make sure you have verified all the necessary documents before you buy that property. Only buy the property when you are convinced that all the boxes have been checked. And I myself, I am here to guide you with all of that. Remember, land isn't just about today's profits. It's about tomorrow's opportunity. Imagine owning a land that your children can develop, they can lease it, they can sell it, they can inherit it, or they can even use it as collateral for business financing. That, my friends, is how family create long-lasting wealth across generations. The key takeaway I want you to remember is this. 5 of them. Number 1, land is finite. Number 2, cities never stop expanding. 3, time increases value. 4, buy this land based on future potential, not current popularity. And number 5, but not the least, wealth is built by owning appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. Here is my final thought for you guys. I'll leave you with this. 20 years from now, someone will wish they had bought land in the places that are still affordable today. The question is, will that person be you, or will you be the investor that recognized the opportunity early? So, whether you are investing from Nigeria or you are living abroad, remember one thing. The goal isn't simply to own land. The goal is to own land in places where the future is being built. Because smart investors don't just follow development. They position themselves ahead of it. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. And I'm sure you must have understood why you should get land for the purpose of land banking. Now, let's keep to the good part. And I want to show you some properties in my listing that would really interest you. Now, these properties check all the boxes. And this property, the developer behind this property is GTEX Homes. So you can Google GTEX. The founder of GTEX Homes is Dr. Stephen Akintayo. So you can Google him out. It's a credible company. He is a credible real estate developer that have been in the real estate space in Nigeria, Dubai, in the US, in the UK for a very long time. So you can be sure you are buying from the best real estate company, which is GTEX Homes. So these are some of the listings we have in the city of Abuja. In Kurudu, we have an estate, Berlin, Fort City in Kurudu, Abuja, Phase 2. Outright payment for one plot is going for just 25 million naira. And if you are paying in installment, you're going to pay in total 30 million naira. If you are buying 6 plots, which is a mini estate, you don't get one plot for 25 million anymore. You now get it for 20 million per plot. So you can imagine if you are buying 6 plots of land, you are getting it for just 120 million. Okay, so the title of this property is ROFO, which is right of occupancy. The major landmarks for this property is the Deeper Life Church, Kurudu, the New Kurudu Estate, the Emma Garden, and the High Beam Estate. All of these are major landmarks to this property Belfort City, Kurudu, Abuja. And it comes with free documentation. So wherever you are in the world, once you pay for this property, your documentation, everything will be sorted out by GTEX Homes, and then it will be sent to you from wherever you are in the world. So free dispatch for you. It is going to get to you from wherever in the world you are. Okay, so that is it. So this estate features a lot of amenities. All our estates, it's a green estate, it's a smart estate. It comes with sewage system, good road, gated community, security, treated water, 24/7 power, play area, gym area. So our estates have been structured to have all of these amenities. So be very, very rest assured that getting a land in this estate, any of this estate, you are definitely sure of peace of mind. And then the next property that is very, very hot at the moment is the Jasper Hillview by Airport Road Phase 2. Jasper Hillview Estate, Airport Road Phase 2. And that property is going for just 45 million naira outright payment. For payment in installment, you pay just 47.5 million naira. And if you're going for 6 plots, which is what we call a mini estate, you'll be getting it for 42.5 million naira per plot. Here are the major landmarks. Dunamis Church, the famous Dunamis Church, that is 100,000 capacity church, is a major landmark to this estate. Jedu Estate, Little Rock School, and Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport. So all of these are major landmark to the Jasper Hillview by Airport Road Phase 2. This property also comes with free documentation and free dispatch. Of course, I didn't forget to mention that the dimension of this land is measuring a total of 400 square meters. So this right here is my phone number. Give me a call and we can book your next inspection. You need to go and look at this property yourself. If you need videos and pictures, we can also send it to you as well. If you don't have anybody in Abuja that can help you come and verify these properties, we can send you creatives, video, pictures of these properties as well. Be rest assured, buying this property from me, you are definitely guaranteed of one thing: appreciation. Remember, the best real estate deals aren't always the cheapest. This land's going for 25 million naira today can go for as high as 100 million naira in the next 5 years. And guess what? You have already bought. So until I see you in the next video, thank you so much and stay safe.